Hi guys, I am Wildcard. Six Nations 2021 Scotland versus Ireland happened early this morning for me. I stayed up till 4 o'clock in the morning, uh, sleep watching this game basically. And I had to kind of go back and watch the replays and see what actually happened since it was really early in the morning for me. And overall, this was a highly contested game. Um, it's very entertaining to watch, but I do think that there are a lot of issues with both teams that they kind of needs to address going into, especially if they're planning to have a good run for the next World Cup in France. Especially Ireland has. Um, I was really disappointed that Johnny Sexton played the whole game and Billy Burns didn't even get a single minute for a match that they can't possibly win the Six Nations anymore. Where this will be a perfect match to grow your next generation of players. And Owen Farrell Senior decided to not give Billy Burns any chance. I think it's not really Farrell's issue for not having him on the field. I think it's largely to do with the Irish culture, like Irish rugby culture. Like there's so much pressure put on the team to deliver every game that at the cost of the long, like they want short term success at the cost of long term success. And I think Ireland needs to address that issue. And Scotland is building a team. There's a lot of still inexperience that you can see, but Scotland is definitely building up to become like it's in a better position than Ireland, despite the fact that they lost. They have a much younger team, and they have a lot of talent in their team. They just need to polish up, and they just need a bit more experience to um, close off those little errors and build up towards the next World Cup. They're in a better position than Ireland. Anyway, let's have a look at what actually happened. Straight off the bat, Ireland was just all over Scotland, and Scotland conceded early penalty, and it was lucky that the Scotland didn't get a yellow card for the penalty, and Ireland opted to take the 3 points. And the commentators were mentioning like Scotland was lucky to only get away with 3 points and nothing else than a yellow card, or if Ireland could have probably pushed and got a try from the start, because Scotland was just straight up put in the really defensive and back foot position. After the conversion, the Irish onslaught continued. At 8 minute mark, Robbie Henshaw scores for Ireland. Now, this is something that I'm saying, like, this try for Ireland should not have been a try. This is just it's actually it's a brilliant play, but it's it's brilliant play, but in actual like strategic strategic like rugby play, it didn't go. It's not supposed to. It's actually carried out poorly. It's actually executed poorly. So basically, Sexton got the ball. There was no advantage. I think Ireland was just kind of like stalled a little bit. They're not really going anywhere. They're about 20 meter out from the try line. And Sexton just got the ball and on the left hand side of the field, and he just did a crossfield kick to the right hand side. And there was basically the end zone was pretty big. The Murrayfield end zone is like massive. Apparently, they have a big end zone, which it's not going to be the case in France. By the way, the French fields have a short end zone, whereas the English, the United Kingdoms tends to have a bigger end field. They've got try zone. So this massive try zone, Sexton, without having an advantage, right, decided to roll the dice. Like he should have waited for an advantage, a full-on advantage, get the forwards to do like a maul or something and try to milk an advantage and then try for this kind of kick. But he didn't have an advantage. He did a crossfield kick. The ball bounced in the end zone, and two Scottish players jumped up, and an Irish player jumped up to try to catch the ball, and all three of them failed. and the ball bounced like instead of bouncing out to the dead ball area, it bounced awkwardly like backwards in field. And then the fourth person that was following chasing the ball was just happens to be an Irish player, and it was Robbie Henshaw. He just happened to be there, and he caught the ball and pulled the ball down, and that was the try to Ireland. But that was just literally just luck played out to Ireland's favour. Overall, I'm pretty sure, yeah, watching the replay, it didn't have an advantage. So that's just like literally just Ireland running out of ideas, and Johnny Sexton just went, all right, let's try something. Like maybe it'll work, maybe it'll not. If it doesn't work out, oh well. That's kind of like the mentality, which is at an international level, that's really not gonna get you far in the World Cup. So despite it was a beautiful try, and so at this point Ireland's 8-0 lead. There was Scotland had a few minutes later. Scotland had a penalty, 3 points kick, and then on the 28th minute, this was Scotland scored a try, and this was one of the weirdest try you ever see. So Ireland was going for this is the 40-meter line. Ireland was going for boss kick in their own 40-meter line, and he got charged down by, I think, Robbie Henshaw. Yeah, Henshaw charged it down. No, sorry, not Robbie Henshaw. What's his name? The 15, number 15, Scotland number 15. I can't remember his name, but Scotland number 15. He charged it down, right, and he was chasing it, and then he kicked it, and then he kicked it again, and the ball he tried to chip. Yeah, he basically chipped the ball again, and the ball bounced awkwardly and hit him in the head, right? And then he bounced on the ground, and it looked like he knocked on. And then he bounced on the ground again, he kicked it forward again, and he kicked it again for the second time, and he went in front of the post, and the person that was fastest to get to the ball was Finn Russell, and he got the ball and dotted the ball down. And at this point, I think some of the Irish players may have thought that the Scotland number 15 fullback knocked on because the ball bounced up and it hit him in the face, and it looked like he had knocked on the ball. So some of the Irish players were kind of what do you call it? Stop chasing or something. And I'm pretty sure there was a short arm advantage, which is a knock-on advantage for Ireland as well. So a lot of the Irish players thought it was going to come back for the short arm. So I guess you got to play to the whistle. Finn Russell scores under the sticks, and suddenly the score is 10-8 to Scotland. Johnny Sexton had a penalty before halftime, couple of penalty kicks before halftime, and at halftime the score finished at 14-10 to Ireland. So the Scottish discipline really cost them a little bit, cost them a lot in this game actually. In fact, Scotland lost the game. A majority of the points scored by Ireland are penalties. So the discipline for Scotland really needs to improve to try to get if they wanted to. That's something that they can work on to improve their games. Second half started. Ireland scored the first try 49th minute, and this is a try. I think they just had the ball pretty close, putting a lot of pressure on Scotland, and they were just basically a lot of people piling up in front of the try line, and then the Irish player picked up the ball. His name is Bernie. I don't even know his name. The Irish player picked the ball. He just a huge. There's basically a bunch of people on him. Everyone just shoved him over the try line, and the referee got in and gave it a try. So that was kind of a nice forward try for Ireland. Again, I would have expected for maybe space out. It was kind of a lucky that no one got underneath the ball, but I was surprised that they didn't try to do a backline play, and as so many players has been sucked into to defend this forward push. right in the middle of the field, so there would have been open space out wide for the backs. I'm surprised they didn't actually go for back play. Again, something that I think Ireland really needs to look into their strategies when it comes to this sort of thing. But anyway, they scored a try. That's good. Another Johnny Sexton converts. Few minutes later, another penalty to Ireland. Johnny Sexton converts that. At 55 minutes, the score is 10 to Scotland and 24 to Ireland. So at this point, Ireland's looking pretty good, and they're there's already 55 minutes into the game, so there's not much. The Scotland really have to catch up, and sure did. Scotland catch up. Scotland surely did. On the 60th minute, Scotland came back to score a try, and this is a brilliant try. This is the number 15 again. Kind of Scotland spread it out wide, number 15 again, and then he passed the ball to Jones. This is a reserve, just came on the field. He just got the ball, first touch of the ball to Jones, and this was like a 22-meter line. There wasn't an overlap, but the Irish defense was just shockingly bad. Like everybody was just like looking like instead of trying to make a tackle, look like they're trying to give a high five to the ball carrier, right? Like it was shockingly bad. Like 3 people missed their tackles, and then Jones just trotted down about 30 meters and scored a try. And it was just like, as an Irish fan, you would be pretty frustrated to see that. 3 people missing their tackles, and it looked really easy for Jones to score that one. And conversion was successful, 17-24. And another few minutes later, on the 74th minute, Hamish Watson scores a try for Scotland. Scotland was just really trying to ramp. At this point, Scotland is really ramping up, putting a lot of pressure on Ireland. And there was just a lot of forwards just trucking the ball right in front of the goalpost. And Hamish Watson, in like one of the most bizarre, twisted way of scoring, he kind of like crashed over the try line. He was like kind of like over the try line, but there was someone like run right underneath him. So he rolled himself free, and then like reached down onto the ground to score the try. It looked like he did like he basically did like a 180-degree turn, like in the pile whilst he was on a pile of people. Right, it just looked so weird, bizarre. He like turned while he was like on top of people, and there was people like piling on top of him, and he scored a try. But anyway, it was a beautiful try for him. Hamish Watson, he looked like he was just he wanted that try, and he just really smashed his way through, and like no one was gonna stop him, despite the fact that he was like propped up by other players. He turned and scored a try anyway. So it was just sheer like grit and determination that Hamish Watson scored that one. It was actually quite good. Stuart Hogg converts 74th minute, 24-24, and then a few minutes later there was a full-on penalty against Scotland from the sideline, and Johnny Sexton takes a kick, and it looked like Johnny Sexton missed. Like the ball was way off to the left of the post. He was on the left hand side because he was way off to the left hand side of the post, and the ball just like curved and went through, and it looked like some kind of like illusion. Like the ball looked like it looked like it missed, and then it just magically like turned, almost looked like it turned like 40 degrees in midair and like went through the sticks, between the sticks. So it was actually kind of bizarre. But anyway. Johnny Sexton kicks that, and that's the final point that was scored for this game. Now, the game. There was 3 minutes left in the game at this point. This is where I got really upset in what both teams did from this point forward. So Scotland had the ball, 2 minutes left, right? At 77th minute, it's Johnny Sexton conversion. So after the kickoff, Scotland got the ball, 2 minutes left. They're running the ball around the 40 in their own like half, just inside the halfway line, inside their own half. You have 2 minutes left. Probably make a play. Maybe go for like either try to milk for a penalty, and then potentially get try to get a penalty, potentially try to like get yourself forward a little bit, maybe with inside the Irish half, and potentially get a penalty. You can just get a kick and probably level the game, or if you really want to win the game, you can potentially go for touch. So you could have done that, but no. Scotland, with 2 minutes left, kicked the ball to Ireland, and I was like, that's just like inexperience, right? Inexperience. You have 2 minutes left. You just gave away I was like, you just gave the chance to win the game. There's 2 minutes left. Ireland got the ball, and it wasn't like a deep kick into the 22 or something. It was just like, just the box kick for like 10 meters. It didn't really go anywhere. So Ireland got the ball back on the halfway line, okay? It wasn't like, again, not in any way, shape, or form, this kick went anywhere. So Ireland got the ball. I'm like 2 minutes left on the clock. I was, at this point, it's probably less than 2 minutes. This point, it's only like a minute left, a minute and a half left, all right? So, a minute and a half left. You're 3 points ahead. Ireland, what are you gonna do? Like, I've seen this done in Super Rugby. I've seen this done in Rugby Championships. I've seen this in Rugby World Cup. I've seen this, in high school. Last 2 minutes, you got the ball, and you just get your forwards together, and you make sure that the ball is recycled. You just get your forwards. You don't even have to gain any meters. You pick and go, okay? You pick and go. The guy just hit the ground as soon as he touches the defender. He doesn't actually have to gain any distance. You just hit the ground, turn yourself back to your own team as soon as you hit the ground, and then you have two to three forwards right on top of him, seal the ball, and then you set it up for another run, for another pick and drive. And you do that for a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and you kick the ball out, you win the game. That's how you do it. And for some goddamn reason, the Irish decided to box kick, again, a box kick, which went for 10 meters to Scotland with a minute left. There was 1 minute left on the clock, 60 seconds. Ireland set it up and kicked the ball back to Scotland from the halfway line. They kicked the ball back to Scotland from the halfway line, a box kick which went for 10 meters with 60 seconds left on the clock. I could not believe what I saw. Like, what is this, amateur hour? Like, do these people have ever played or watched, like, any game of rugby? Like, I just don't know anymore. I don't understand anymore. Like, what am I watching? Like, what's going on? Like, who told this guy how to play? Like, are you serious? You can't keep the ball for 1 minute. And it's not like they're in a dangerous position. It's a halfway line. I don't even think Scotland can't have anyone can kick 50 meters. Anyway, they kicked the ball away. Luckily, it was against Scotland. And Scotland evidently couldn't go anywhere with 60 seconds. And then they knock on the ball. And Ireland gets the ball back. Kick the ball out. Full time. 24-27. So this is where, like, this is the issue. This is why like, Ireland can't make past quarterfinals. This is why Ireland lose to the All Blacks in the 83rd minute in a match, right? This is why, because the players are not taught to think before they do something. They literally do things because they're told, you run this, you do this, you get your forward to run the ball for 4 phases, and then you box kick. That's the only reason they kicked it. If that wasn't Scotland, if that wasn't the All Blacks, or South Africa, or maybe even Australia, That could be game over. You just lost the game. You could just lose the game right there. That's where you get eliminated in the quarterfinals in the Rugby World Cup. Like, and the thing is, now the fact that Ireland has won, no one's gonna care. Everyone's gonna be, yeah, no one's even gonna mention that. Like, this terrible decision making on the field that could have cost them, like, in any against any other team other than Scotland, like any other team higher ranking than Scotland, not any other team other than Scotland, like any other team that's higher ranking than Scotland, would have cost them the game. With stupid kicks like that, stupid gameplay, because the players aren't thinking for themselves. The coach has just told them, you run the ball for 4 phases, 5 phases, and then you do a box kick. Just terrible game sense. Terrible. I was like, you know, I was falling asleep when I was watching this, and this happened, and I literally just gave up. I gave up. I saw that, and I just gave up. Ireland really need to, like, think about, like, this whole, like, their whole rugby culture, like the way the Irish football, like, I don't know, IRFU runs the whole business, the way the culture, internal culture of the sport in Ireland, they need to really look at that. Like, you can't have the coach making decisions like running Johnny Sexton in a game that literally means nothing, and not give your Billy Burns any time in this game. You can't have that just because just because you want to look good for this weekend against a team that's quite frankly not even that good to begin with. Why are you trying, like, you're not building towards anything? And also, just the way that the decision makings are done on the field, you can tell that it's not done because players are thinking. It's done because Owen Farrell Sr., Andy Farrell, in case you don't know what I'm talking about, Andy Farrell, has told everyone, this is what you do, right? This is your job. This is what you do. Don't question it. Just do it. And no one, like, bothered to explain to the players why things are done. I'm sure they do explain to why things are done, but players aren't, like, adapting to what's happening on the field. And this is why like, Ireland can't make past quarterfinals, because, you know, a good team will play according to their opponent. They don't just come out, play the same game every time. They'll play according to their opposition. And if Ireland comes out and plays the same way they play against every team, in fact, making the same plays regardless of the situation or the position of the game, being unaware of the clock, like just basic things, unaware of the fact there's 1 minute left, and you kick the ball away, you do a shallow box kick of 10 meters. With these sort of decisions, you're not going to win, like, you're not going to make it far in the World Cup. And also, like, short-term wins against, it's, like, meaningless. You have to look a little bit long-term. Yeah, sure, you get Johnny Sexton to the next World Cup. Let's say he's still as good as he is today, right? Let's say he gets better. What if he gets injured? You throw Billy Burns out there, he hasn't even seen the ball for, like, we haven't even touched the ball in an international international game. Like, why, how are you going to expect that to turn out well? Anyway, I probably just ranted a little bit too much over the Irish rugby. But, yeah, I mean, this, if you're an Irish fan, you know, I don't know. I feel bad for you guys. But maybe start a social media movement and just, you know, hashtag give Billy Burns a go. Try that. But anyway, thanks for watching this video. See you guys next time. Cheers.